set up, but managing kids' bedtimes and all. So let's just let that chat populate and we will hang out. Obviously, I want to know if my mic is working, so that'll be the big kicker. All right, there we go. Now let's drop some tripod legs. Ah! There we go. And if you're watching this in the future, just fast forward a minute or two and then we can... All right, there's tripod. Set you guys up just like that. Halfway decent there. Okay, there. I'm actually mostly eye level with you guys. So, boom goes the Dynamite. Sorry if you're watching on headphones. Let's pull this down just a little. That way you can hear the soothing sounds of my midnight radio DJ voice. All right, cool. So I've gathered you here today for what it's worth. All right. Awesome, Dano, shalom. Good to see you. Hey, are we 5x5? Is my audio halfway decent, or are we in the mix? Let's Jeopardy music. Do 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 do. Hang on, I actually may get a flag for that. I don't know. 5x5. Cool. Good to know. All right, so I've gathered you guys here today because I wanted to chat a little bit. If you're following me on Instagram, then you'll know that I've been attempting 75 hard since like the last full week of December. And I failed once about the 2-week mark, something like that. And then last night, I fell asleep before finishing my final quart of water. So that's technically a fail on like day 20 of the second attempt of this cycle. Sweet, we got 4 people. Guys, shout out in the comments because this is kind of how this interacts. For those of you who don't know, 75 Hard is a discipline program, not a weight loss program. And what it is Guy, shalom, good to see you. How is shoeing horses, my man? 75 Hard is a discipline program. It's not a weight loss program. You may notice that my face is a little bit thinner than the last time we talked live on YouTube. That wood splitting live stream that we did, I was starting to look a little pudgy. Well, I had gotten up to about 238 pounds, which is 2 pounds away from the heaviest I've ever been in my life, which I just found unacceptable. And excuses are lies, so I'm not gonna give you guys the sob story of why my weight had gotten higher than it ever had, or almost as high as it ever had. And those of you who have been following the channel for a while, you will know that I have been 2023, I did 75 Hard 4 times, got down to 195 pounds. But 75 Hard is a discipline program, and it basically is 2 workouts a day, one of which has to be outside. Yes, Rosie Life, Jesus does love you. I know him as Yeshua, but same guy. So, it's just his Hebrew name. But 100% that in which we know, or that in which we call a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. So, continuing, 75 Hard is a discipline program, not necessarily a weight loss program. But basically, weight loss is kind of a side effect of it. It's 2 workouts, one of which has to be outside. They're 45 minutes long, and you get to pick what they are, but you just have to work out every day. And a caveat that you never really hear people talk about is those workouts technically have to be separated by 3 hours. So you got a lot of guys who are actually cheating, and what they would do is they would go out outside at like 11:15 and they'd work out for like an hour and a half. And then so it put it into 2 days, and they called it 2 separate workouts. That doesn't count. It doesn't matter what time your workouts are. They must be separated by spicy snafu. Shalom. Good to see you here. I'd take you on your regular account or your others. If you guys aren't subscribed to Spicy Snafu, you need to be, because like not only is he like a totally rad awesome guy, but he's got a wicked cool account and you need to go subscribe. But yeah, 75 Hard is a discipline program, not necessarily a weight loss program. The 2 workouts are what scares people away. It's not bad because realistically, most people can carve out 45 minutes. And it's not like you have to take 80-pound weights and like sling them over your head. Like it just move your body. And I've been making this cycle where my second workout is mobility, because I'm trying to make sure that my hips, my knees, my back, and my neck are working, and my shoulders, I want them to work, because how in the world am I gonna, get back up to a fighting weight if I am not at a reasonable level of movement? Because if your body's not able to move, then how are you supposed to do this? And to be quite frank, the 3rd cycle of 75 Hard that I did in 2023, which I think was like the 4th or 5th cycle I'd ever done, it just wasn't, it wasn't good. And I tore I think it was a ligament or whatever in my leg. And it never really healed properly. So I'm trying to take care of my body. And like that 4th cycle in 2023, I limped through that cycle. So I'm trying to be nice to my body. It's 2 workouts a day, one of which must be outside. The second workout can be either in or outside. It doesn't matter. You drink 1 gallon of water a day. And ironically, that's what took me down this cycle. Normally I'm really good about drinking a gallon plus, but for whatever reason, I just had trouble pounding out that last quart. And it is what it is. It's my fault, and I'm not going to make excuses about it. So yeah, 2 workouts. One must be outside, separated by 3 hours, and the workouts are 45 minutes long. 1 gallon of water a day. And then you need to do 10 pages of self-development reading. It's got to be nonfiction. And typically they're going to steer you towards like self-help type books. Realistically, I'm not the biggest fan of self-help. And I think it was the 2023 cycles of 75 Hard that I did. It was just a lot of books that should have been paragraphs. And so currently I've been going through 48 Laws of Power again. And it's a good book, and I think everybody should read it, because you do all 48 laws of power, you're going to be a horrible person, but you need to be aware of all 48 of them, so that way they can't be used against you without your consent, basically. And some of them you should follow, and then others you should definitely be aware of, so that way someone doesn't take advantage of you. In that, yeah, so gallon, 2 workouts, 45 minutes each. One must be outside. Separated by 3 hours. You pick a diet. It doesn't matter what the diet is, but it needs to relatively challenge you. It can't just be like, oh, I'm going to eat pizza and ice cream, and that's my diet. It's like, no, it needs to be a relatively challenging diet. But you pick what it is. So you want to do keto, do keto. You want to do carnivore, do carnivore. You want to do intermittent fasting, you do intermittent fasting. But you set rules, and I recommend writing those rules down, so that way you know what they are and you can follow them. And then you stick to it. So you deviate from that diet in any way, whether you're just doing a calorie restriction or a carb restriction or like a protein goal or whatever. You deviate from whatever diet you set yourself to. So you give a cheat day or whatever, then you have failed that, for whatever reason. And so you need to pick a diet and stick to it. You need to take a progress picture every day. And people are like weird about this. Like, why do I have to take a progress picture every day? And I was that way with my first cycle. But once I was able, about, I don't know, like 4 or 5 weeks in, able to go back and check my progress, you really start seeing that. And then it's also like, can you not roll out of bed and snap a picture? It is the easiest thing. And it causes people to fail. I failed the cycle because of it, because I forgot to snap my picture. And then, yeah, so self-development reading, gallon, picture, and then your diet, you stick to it, and your workouts. and there's no alcohol over that 75-day period of time. You can't have any cheat meals, and then you're not going to give yourself any excuses as to why you didn't get any of those done. So in that, there is an app that Andy Frisella has, and it is something that you pay like $5 for, and it gives you like a little checklist, and you can make notes, and you can save your progress picture and all that good stuff. Then from that 48 laws of, or no, I'm sorry, Guy, you have a comment. Maybe if it was fresh juice, I'd love to read the 48 laws of power. I got you, my guy. So Andy Frisella has an app. It's like $5 in the App Store, whether you go through Google Play or whether you go through the iPhone App Store. And that $5 is pretty well worth it, because you always have your phone with you realistically, and so having checklists to where you are able to go in and mark off, yes, I got my gallon today, yes, I did my diet, yes, I did work out 1 outside, yes, I did work out 2. That is pretty helpful for what it is. I like the app. It has crashed on me a few times, and so that has caused issues with logging things. For whatever it's worth, I think it's a good app. $5 is a bit much, but there are some free apps that are out there that are okay. So if you're just trying 75 hard for the first time, if you want the sunk cost fallacy to be working in your favor, spend the $5 and then justify yourself, I spent $5 on this app, I don't want to waste it. Cool. Or you can find one of the free trackers that are out there that are relatively close. They're a little clunky for what they are, but they're fine for the most part. And you can do that. I have had just text groups before where I was just sending pictures to all the time. Like I'd take pictures of my food, this is what I ate today. And then, I would take pictures working out or whatever. I've posted progress on Instagram before, and that's just been my progress. And people keeping me accountable, because people relatively know me for doing 75 hard. So you can make this whatever you want to make it. I have made, and this is not me trying to become a gazillionaire off the internet or off of somebody else's work. I have made a 1-sheet checklist for 75 hard, and I've been piloting it for the last 20 days. I've sent it out to some other people. I think like maybe 3 or 4 people in this audience right now probably have it. I've gotten some feedback from some of these people, but in general, like I know what works for me. So, but I've made a 1-sheeter, and here you go. So I don't know if I've got this backwards to where you guys can't read it or not, but I've got it where you write what day it is, what day of the week. You put the physical date, and then you've got these little check boxes. Did I take my progress picture? Check. All right. I weigh myself because that's a metric for me. I put it over here because it's technically not part of the 75 hard checklist, but I do it for me. And so I just put it over here so that way it was there. And then, drinking your first quart of water, checkbox, and then outside workout. And then, you go through what time, and I, wrote for the quart of water, what time did you do your first quart? So that way, you did it. What time did you work out? What was your workout? So tomorrow morning when I start again, because conveniently February 1st, I think Sundays are an ideal day to start 75 hard, because if you do all 75 days, you will finish on a Thursday, you get Friday off, and then Shabbat happens, and then you're great, but whatever. And conveniently, February 1st will be a very easy way, because the 1st will be your first day. If you want to start again or go with me or whatever, perfect opportunity for you to do this. Outside workout, and then what it is. So tomorrow I will be doing a ruck march with my F3 guys, and so I wrote in F3 ruck march. I'm going to be having 50 pounds in my backpack, and I'll write down what time that is, and then I like to track the temperature for the outside workout. It's just psychological for me. Hey, went out ruck marching in 10-degree weather and snow was up to my ankles. Cool, it's a good metric. Then second quart of water, what time? Then this is my food journal. And so I write down everything that went inside of my body for me to eat. Track that. And I left you some lines for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think there's a 4th one on there if you have a snacky snack. So boom, they're easy for you to go. Third quart of water, what time? Inside or outside workout for your second one. And realistically, you can do an inside workout for your first workout of the day. Your first workout doesn't have to be the outside one. But one of them has to be outside regardless of the weather. And so then, here's your workout, what time, what it is. I'm going to be doing mobility work. And this is not, up, down, touch the ground. I am in the mood for food, to be Winnie the Pooh. This is me moving my body. I'm going to be, getting into some stretch positions, and I'm not holding that stretch for more than about 4 seconds. And then I'm immediately transitioning into, the next pose, switching over to the left side, right side, going out into a deep lunge, and then transitioning into a squat, going up, trying to touch real high. This is an active set of movements for 45 minutes. Track what time that happened. Fourth quart of water, boom. All of your water, your workouts are done, what went in your body. Then I left a section for, hey, what book are you reading? I'm currently going through the 48 Laws of Power. Tomorrow I will read Law 38 and Law 39, and then what those page numbers are. Already logged those, and what I'm doing is these are the law titles that are on for those two laws in the 48 Laws of Power, and I will take notes. For your reading, you are to take notes in what you are reading. So boom, this is sections for me to take notes on those chapters. Now this section is an addition what I have, but this is something that I think is a good habit for us to be in. Track your scripture reading of the day. So I'm in Joshua right now. Tomorrow I will read Joshua 14 through 24. So I'll finish the book of Joshua. Brian Barnes, shalom. Good to see you, my bud. In that, I have room. Joshua there, boom. And then I left myself basically an after action report. So that way I know, okay, what did I do well today? What needs a little bit of work? This didn't work. What has to change? So I have sustain, improve, change. That little after actions report gives me, okay, I was really good with getting my butt out of bed and going to work out. Cool, boom, done. Hey, my water's starting to lag. If you're following me on Instagram, which you should be, if you're following me on Instagram, I've been posting these with my progress picture, my food pictures, and proof that I worked out outside. Those I like to have there. And if you're tracking the AARs on this, you'll notice in the last couple of days that I have before I failed, which I failed day 20, and I'm getting ready to post for the rest of, day 14 through 20, just so that way I can have a clean slate and start over on Sunday. You'll notice that my last few pages where I wrote change, I wrote, I need to work on my water intake. So I should have onboarded in my brain, hey, my water is becoming an issue and I need to pound this out. So data is good to have. And then small little checklist, no alcohol, no cheating on diet, and then no excuses. Check those boxes. So those are some things you need to know in this. If you want this, I will send this to you. DM me on Instagram or email info at 12th-C, or no, info_12th-C@gmail.com. Either DM me on Instagram, text me if you have my number, or info_12th-C@gmail.com, and I'll put that email in the description of this video if you're watching this in the future, just so you can see that. Desert Jack, shalom, buddy. Good to see you. If you want this, I will send it to you. I'm going to start charging for this at some point, but for now, I'll give it away for free. I have a full one for the full Live Hard program, which are like phase 1, 2, and 3 that follow 75 Hard. That thing I'm selling. But you want the 75 Hard one, this is a one-sheeter. You can have this for free, but you need to contact me. I'll tell you what, Brian Barnes, Guy, he was at the Ruckus, the first Ruckus. I don't know if he was at the second one because I wasn't there, so I don't know. But Guy is the dude who was rucking with me for the majority of the 18 miles that I did. I don't know if you remember who that guy was, but you guys can talk more if you need to. Anyway, you want this, reach out to me on Instagram, text me, or info _12c@gmail.com. That email will be in the description. I will send this to you for free. And I'll tell you what, I'll give it away for free for the month of February. After March, I'm going to start selling this thing. And it'll just be, you Venmo me a couple of bucks and I'll send it. I'm not going to be stingy with it. If I sell this to you, it will be under the agreement that you will not distribute it past, your immediate family. And that's just going to be how we run on that. Let's see, channel updates. So the push-up videos, I have another week or so of videos that I've filmed that I need to publish, and that will put me back on track. So what I'll do is I'll probably post double for this coming week, just so that way at the end of the first week of February, I'll be fully up to date on push-up videos. So that way you guys just have them. I am probably going to go until I hit day 365 and have a full year of push-up videos. And if I don't have full front back claps on that, then I'm probably going to take a pause and reevaluate and just see where those are going. I'm getting really tired of shooting these videos and I'm just not making the progress that I want to make. So there's that. Some of you guys have subscribed to me specifically because of the push-up videos. It's not necessarily what I want this channel to be all about, but it's been, a fun way to get a lot of posts out there and get some foot traffic in the door. The Abomination study. I've kind of been on an unofficial pause of that because I'm working on the Abomination of Desolation video, and that is proving to be even deeper than I thought it was going to be. I'm slowly making notes. Has 75 Hard impacted it a little bit? Yeah, sure. But channel secret, I've changed jobs. I will probably give you guys a full update on what my previous job was sometime in the foreseeable future. But I have a day shift now. I finished my last night shift as of Thursday. And so I'm enjoying a nice long weekend, and I'm hitting the ground running on Monday working day shifts. So that is cool. It only took me 2 years to figure out how to do 75 Hard on a night shift. And so that was interesting, to say the least. For those of you who are in the men's prayer group, I appreciate everyone who's been praying on the job change. For those of you guys who are in the Shabbat Fellowship Bible study on that, I would like to start showing up to those at some point. I want to get my feet under me because Shabbat's still kind of one of the only real days that I get off. And so, and yes, I know I have Shabbat prep and all that good stuff, but I trying to get my feet under me before I want to 100% commit to just showing up, because I need to be there for my family. So that's part of it. But yeah, 75 Hard, I'm slowly working on the Abomination of Desolation video for the Abomination study. I would really appreciate those of you guys who are regulars to my channel if y'all would get some watch hours on those Abomination videos. That would really help the channel out, like, more than you know. I would love to get to a point where I start consistently live streaming. I don't know how or when that's going to work, but we'll get there when we get there. I have a second YouTube channel. I'm only doing one video a week, and I'm just shooting the videos in batch content when I can, and I'm uploading. I've got the next 6 weeks of videos already staged and ready to go. That channel is called the 12th C's Toolbox, because you'll know that I work in maintenance of some kind. I will never discuss my current job in full detail. I may, post some things about it from here and there, but I don't like to talk about current employers while I'm working for them while they're current. Past employers are relatively fair game, but I was doing aviation maintenance for a company that it was the line maintenance. The airplane was there for 12 hours, and we would do work on it, and then it would leave, and we had to make sure that the airplane was legal to fly. and I'm no longer doing that. So we'll talk about that more in the future. But my new YouTube channel is called the 12th Seas Toolbox, and it's just me doing tool reviews. Those of you who work with your hands, this is an opportunity for me to tell you guys about the tools that I'm using, what works for me. Tools that I've had for a long time, I will give reviews over. Tools that I buy, and I've had to buy some tools recently, you will get to kind of track with those tools and see how they hold up over the years. I'm also reading the book of Deuteronomy while doing that. So you'll get an introduction on the tool, and then you will get a section where I read a few verses out of the book of Deuteronomy and then talk about it for a few minutes, and then move back on to actually reviewing the tool. Or if I haven't owned it for very long, then it will be like a initial impressions / unboxing or whatever. Just a chance for me to talk about some things that I do without necessarily discussing my employer or, giving away, trade secrets or anything. But that channel is called the 12th Seas Toolbox. It is in the description right now. If you click on the description of this video, there will be a link to that channel. I would really appreciate if you guys would go subscribe to that. It would mean the world to me. It has 8 subscribers right now, and I would like to get that channel minimum to the point where I could live stream on that. Not sure how active I'm going to be, but I need at least 50 people on that channel so I could start live streaming. I'm going to talk about tools, might read just a little bit of Bible, but this channel, the regular 12th Seas channel, you guys know that I get pretty long-winded reading scripture. That channel, it's just going to be sprinkled in a little bit. I'm not going to do, full deep studies on multiple chapters at a time. It will be at most 1 chapter, at most. And that's currently just going to work through the book of Deuteronomy and see where it goes. Yeah, that's channel / life updates right now. Starting 75 Hard over again tomorrow. If you guys want to play along, reach out to me. If you want my 1-sheeter, I'll send it to you. I'm working on some other things to sell for this channel. We'll bring shirts back when it starts getting a little warmer. Might kind of expand the shirt repertoire. I'm still waiting for somebody I love to answer me as to whether or not he's going to sell me his design that he is no longer selling. And I don't want to just be that guy and say, oh, hey, there's no intellectual property in the fashion world. It's like, dude, you're my buddy, you're my brother, and I want to, take care of you so that way, if I start selling this, that, you don't feel like I just took it from you. Because I'm not going to be like that. Might do some videos in the foreseeable future where I'm talking a little bit more about 75 Hard. If you guys want a how to do 75 Hard on night shift, not like I actually completed a full cycle on night shift, but I wasn't going to be there for that much longer. I spent a month or so. You want to play along? Cool guy. Reach out to me. You should have my number, and I'll send you the 1-sheeter. But if you guys want a how to do 75 Hard on night shift, or technically I was swing shift really, because I would have nights for 4 nights, and then I would have to be a daytime dweller for the rest of the week, and how to navigate that. If you guys want me to do a video on that, I don't know, sound off in the comments to this video if you want more on how to do 75 Hard for a night shift, because it took me 2 years to figure it out. Honestly, you really want to know how to do 75 Hard on night shift, go talk to Scouting in the Woods. He does most of his videos on the Mountain Ministries, but that cool cat over there, he has been doing 75 Hard on night shifts for like the last 2 years, probably longer in my opinion. And he would probably, I'll tell you what, if you guys want me to do a joint live stream again with Scouting in the Woods, let me know, and I will reach out to him, and we can talk about night shift 75 Hard stuff, and we'll figure that out. So just sound off in the comments if y'all want me to arrange that, and we'll see what we can get going. I'm going to open the floor for the next minute. If any of you guys have any just last second questions, I can chit chat about those for just a bit, but we've been on here for about half an hour now. So I'm going to give you guys 60 seconds. If you all got questions, drop them in the chat, and then we'll get a move on. But yeah, we got 5 people hanging out here, 5 thumbs up. That's well worth it. And Dano, Guy, I doubt that Miguel or Rosie is still here. News of the Pews is here. There you go. You need to subscribe to that channel too. Spicy, let's make you a moderator. Standard moderator. All right. Spicy, if you're still here, make one more comment because you're a moderator now. Desert Jack, I tell you what, you've been hanging out here long enough. Let's make you a moderator too. I know Guy's here. I know Brian Barnes is here. All right. All right. Desert Jack did nights for several years, 12 plus hours, and kept working out nights. Wrecked my body. Yeah, that's why I wanted to get out. Sober Party, Shalom, good to see you. Let's make you a moderator too. I'm just feeling like Oprah right now. You get a moderator, you get a moderator, everybody gets a moderator. How do I fit 2 45-minute workouts into a workday? All right, so for me, one workout you have to do, probably wake up early. You know, whether that's daytime, nighttime, whatever, but you're gonna have to work out early. I find my my first workout of the day being an outside workout is what helps the most, because then you just skinned that cat and you got it out there. If it is like right now, which I know where you live, Guy, you might be better served to do your outdoor workouts in the afternoon and not die. But you know, you do you, so it is what it is. But I would recommend getting your morning workout done. And I mean, if you go for a walk or throw your weighted vest on, because I know you own one, -8 here, that is ugly cold. I mean, it's still cold here, but it's not that cold. But yeah, throw your weighted vest on and go for a workout. Your second workout, I know you have more than one little person in your house. Spend 45 minutes tossing that little person into the air. You're still playing with your kids and you are still doing stuff. But, you know, actually challenge your muscles. And so, you know, you may like hold your little person and like do a squat and then come up to the top of the squat and then toss your little person up in the air and then catch your little person, you know, bring them back down to your chest and then do another squat. You may do that for a little while, or, you know, after you do that for as long as it takes to get tired, throw that little person on your back and start doing push-ups. You are still playing with your children and you're getting exercise. So you're checking multiple boxes, and I promise you, your little people will love that. Oh yeah, I do that anyway. Perfect. So boom, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yeah, you separate that by 45 minutes. So you do your workout for your you time in the morning, and then go play with your little children in a way that challenges your muscles. And boom. Do not expect that you'll get all 75 days perfect the first cycle. Like, I'm just telling you right now, your first cycle, just do. Kind of use this as a trial and error. And if you make it, cool, awesome. I know you're a relatively fit dude anyway, so it's not like this is a fitness challenge for you, but it's about building discipline. You were saying earlier that the water would probably be the hardest part for you. I have found, wake up in the morning, pound a quart of water as best you can. Like, just get it down, go work out, come back from your workout, and you can be sipping water during your workout. You're going to be peeing like a racehorse, but I know you know what racehorses pee like anyway, because, you know, you do that kind of stuff. You can be sipping water during your workout, which, you know, you might be drinking ice water at that point. But I found, pro tip, warm water when I'm working out in the cold helps a ton. But, you know, whatever. Also, hot hands in your gloves this time of year. But whatever. Go work out, sip your water while you're working out, and then come inside. And as soon as you come inside, pound that second quart of water. And then boom, you are done with half your water for the day. You're probably not going to want to drink any water until about lunchtime. But if you can, you know, lightly sip on that third quart, and if you can finish that third quart of water by the end of lunch, then you are miles ahead of everybody else. And then if you can pound that fourth quart of water before you're done with your dinner, then you've just completed your gallon and dinner's over. Squeeze your second workout in there somewhere. Read your book while you're on the toilet. because I promise you, you will go poop every day, especially if you are drinking a gallon of water. That is 10 to 15 minutes of time you are not getting back. So instead of scrolling Instagram or, YouTube or whatever, then boom, read your book while you're on the potty. And then you've done your workouts, your water, you're already having to eat. So guaranteed eating time that day. Just pick a diet and stick to it. And then all you have to worry about is your picture at that point. And I recommend taking your picture as soon as you get out of bed. So roll out of bed, boom, make your pose in the mirror, snap your picture, and then boom, you've taken your picture for the day. Hopefully you're pounding your gallon or your first quart of water at that time. And then do your workout, do your reading while you're squatting on the potty, and then you just have to worry about that second workout, eat for your normal day, and then finish your gallon of water. It is very doable. Are you upper pec flexing in those push-ups? A lot of quick impact. Yeah. So Desert Jack for those push-ups, I'm all the way up and I'm trying to round my back. And realistically, by the time I get there, I'm already off the ground. And so I'm clapping and then going back down. Unless I'm doing push-ups with the rucksack or doing push-ups on the pallets. The goal with the pallets was to, start with 2 pallets, do clapping push-ups, and then work down to 1 pallet, do clapping push-ups, and then, get back on the ground. And so it is what it is. I poop every day, but it takes like almost a minute. Picking fluid, I should imagine. Yeah. You're on the potty pooping every day. You might as well get your reading done. If you're a cool family, then you probably have a stack of books in the bathroom anyway. Just have a consistent one for you to read that's nonfiction that, that pushes you, that challenges you to either be a better person or to stop being a horrible person. And boom, you got your reading for the day and, work the same book 10 pages a day minimum. That, realistically about a chapter, but just make sure you're getting a minimum of 10 pages and you can stop in the middle of the chapter if you're a psychopath, or you can just finish the chapter. But it's done. So, like I said, guys, if you want that one-sheeter, just reach out to me, info_12thc@gmail.com. If you have my number, just text me and I'll get it to you, or DM me on Instagram and I will send you the one-sheeter for my 75 hard, just so that way you guys can have it. All I'm asking, if I'm giving this to you for free, because I'm going to start selling it in March, all I'm asking is that you give me feedback on it, because if I need to change something, I want to know. So, cool. I think that's pretty well all the questions we got for the evening. Thank you to the 8 people who have been hanging out. Only 6 of you guys have liked the stream, so if you guys could give a quick like on that, that would be super awesome. With that, go do hard things.